Hey guys, welcome back to RoxFamFood. It is Mandy, and we're starting off here with some chicken Caesar pasta. I thought I was recording the first clip, but I didn't. So what I did was I took boneless, skinless chicken breast and cut it thin, and then marinated it in Caesar dressing. And now I'm frying it in some olive oil. I'm seasoning here with garlic powder and black pepper. And then I'm just gonna cook that on both sides. So now you can see I am flipping them. They got a little bit golden, and I'm just kind of moving them around because my electric frying pan has some spots that are hotter than others. So I'm just going to move that around so all the chicken gets cooked nice and evenly. This didn't turn out as good as the first time I made it a couple weeks ago, and I think that's because I didn't have my directions in front of me and I was kind of going off memory because I was recording with my phone. But it was still really good. So I pulled out the chicken and I'm going to add in 3 cups of chicken broth. I'm doubling the original recipe, which I will link down below. So I'm going to add in 3 cups of chicken broth, and then I'm going to scrape up all the good bits down there on the bottom because that's where the flavor is. It's the fond, if you will. So we're going to scrape up all the good bits, and then I'm going to be adding in milk as well. And I believe it's 1.5 cups of whole milk that I'm going to add into this. Like I said, this is a doubled recipe. I've got a little bit over 1.5 pounds of chicken in there as well. Probably should have mentioned that. But we are just going to bring that up to a simmer. Oh wait, I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of Caesar dressing as well. And we're going to whisk that up, and then I'm going to let it come to a simmer. So now I'm just going to be adding in this angel hair pasta. I'm using a whole pound, which is why I doubled it. And you just want to kind of smush it around a little bit. Keep moving it for the first probably 30 seconds to a minute because angel hair pasta is really finicky. You don't want it to stick, and you do have to use angel hair. It's the only pasta that's going to work because it's so thin. So here you can see the pasta's just about cooked, and now I'm just going to take that chicken and I'm going to cut it into strips. You can do whatever you want. You can shred it, you can chop it, you can have it however you like. I like it in the little strips. It's really good. Now, the original recipe called to season it with lemon pepper, I think. I didn't do that. I did garlic powder and black pepper instead, and I think it tastes really good. You definitely can add lemon pepper, as you're going to see here shortly. I do add fresh lemon to this recipe, which makes it so delicious. But I'm just going to continue to chop up this chicken, and then I'm going to stir on the pasta here. It did get a little bit stuck on the bottom because this electric frying pan is a little wonky. It's kind of getting old, and there's like that circle of heat there that everything kind of sticks to, but it's okay. So here I am adding in the juice of 1 lemon so far. There you go. So then I'm just going to add my chicken back in, and it's going to be done. Oh, I lied. I'm adding in capers too. There's capers. Don't forget the capers. They're delicious. Oh yeah, and Parmesan cheese. Don't forget Parmesan cheese because that's delicious too. Sorry. So yeah, I'm just going to mix it all together with the capers and the Parmesan cheese, and it's good to go. And my family really likes this recipe. Like I said, the first time I made it, when I really followed the directions, it came out a little bit better, but this is just, I'm addicted to it. I think it's so good. So yeah, that was chicken Caesar pasta. Now on to the next night. I cooked at my parents' house. We alternate on Saturdays, and it was my turn to cook, but I cooked it at her house. I was doing like a little low country boil situation. So I've got potatoes, I've got shrimp, I've got little smokies that I'm using for the sausages, and I've got these little like nibbler corns. And then I'm also going to make some cheddar bay biscuits. So there's just a couple little clips of me cooking at my parents' house. So here are the potatoes. I cooked those first. I tried this Zatarain's boil stuff. I didn't like it at all. It's supposed to be concentrate. It had no flavor. So I ended up switching to Old Bay, which I should have just done from the beginning. There it is. And adding in a generous amount of Old Bay. Sorry for my kids in the background that you can hear here. But yeah, I cooked the potatoes till they were almost done. Then I threw in the frozen corn. and I gave it a nice stir, and then I tasted the water throughout to kind of see what it needed, and I think I added in some fresh garlic, There's those biscuits coming out of the oven. If you haven't tried these, they're so delicious. And here it is with all the different shrimp and the little smokies. And then my mom had a kielbasa sausage that she wanted me to toss in as well. So I cut that up and threw that in also. And it was so good. Oh my gosh. Those little smokies were probably my favorite part, which is kind of weird, but they just tasted so, so, so good in that. So here's a final view of all of it simmering. And that is what it looked like when it was done. And we loved it. So on this night, I'm just making good old-fashioned spaghetti. So the way I do spaghetti is I heat olive oil and garlic in a pot, and I usually add in some mushrooms if I have them, because my whole family likes mushrooms. So I'm going to saute those, and then I'm going to add my ground beef. I'm going to drain off, ooh, gosh, my kids are being sassy. I'm going to add in my ground beef until it is nice and cooked, drain it off, add the sauce, boil the pasta, and you will see the rest. Now the trick for spaghetti is, especially with angel hair, you just have to stir it. You want to put a lot of salt. You want it to be as salty as the sea. That's just what we Italians say. You want it to be as salty as the sea, and you want to stir it vigorously. I like to use a tong because I can separate it for at least a minute. You don't have to add any oil to your pasta water. When you add oil to your pasta water, it's actually going to make the pasta very slick, and it's going to make it so your sauce does not stick to your pasta, and you don't want that. So it's not going to stick as long as you give it some good zhuzh and stir and get it all separated for a solid minute or two in the very beginning when you put it into the water. And then every, couple minutes, you just want to give another stir. The way I do it is I do half my sauce on the bottom, then my pasta, then the rest of the sauce. I just think it makes it easier for stirring it. I like to have my pasta and my sauce mixed already. That's just, it's the Italian in me, but you don't have to. Just serve it how you like it. And that was pretty much dinner on this night. I think mine might have added a little bit of Parmesan cheese if I had it. Nothing fancy. Spaghetti nights, we don't usually have sides because I just think it's plenty. And you can see there's my usual mess in the center of the stove there. It wouldn't be me without a mess. So yeah, that was spaghetti night. Looks real good. And on to the next night. What am I making? I don't even know. Oh, I'm making, I'm wearing my yellow shirt again, surprise. So this is the way that I do cheesy cheddar broccoli rice. Everybody does it differently. This is just my cheater way. I make it this way because it's easy and it's super good. So I'm just going to chop up about 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breast, saute it in olive oil. I think I add minced garlic, and then I season it with garlic powder, onion powder, pepper, and salt. I'm going to brown it up, and then I'm going to use 2 packets of the Knorr's cheddar broccoli rice. Follow the directions according to how it is. You can see here, I'm adding in the water and the milk per the instructions of how much they say that you need to add. Sorry for the mess on the right side of the counter. As you guys know, I have no counter space, so that's just where I keep all my seasonings and things like that. But anyway, so I'm going to cook the rice. The chicken's pretty much all the way cooked through. If it's not, it's okay. It's going to finish cooking in, but there's all the milk. And I also add in a half a stick of butter. I think I accidentally edited that out because I'm still trying to figure out how to edit. But just give that a stir, and then I cooked it with the lid on. Yeah, you can see the butter there. Cooked it with the lid on for about 12 minutes. And then I took the lid off and cooked it for another 6 minutes. And there it is after 12 minutes. Give it a zhuzh. It's still obviously not done yet, but you want to give it a stir so nothing sticks. I put the lid back on there. But then I ended up just taking it right back off. Excuse me. So, Yeah, then I let it cook for about 6 more minutes with the lid off. And here I'm adding in what I had left is maybe a cup of shredded cheese. You can add as much as you want. Give it a stir, let it cook for, like I said, that last 6 minutes, and then it's good to go. So on this night, I was really craving chicken souvlaki, but I didn't have really anything to do it with, so I kind of went with what I had on hand. So here I'm just going to cut up some boneless, skinless chicken breast into some nice little chunks, and then I'm going to marinate it in the Olive Garden Italian dressing. Obviously, that's not Greek, but I was just looking for similar flavors. Most Mediterranean dishes have similar flavors to them. There's going to be oregano, there's going to be lemon, there's going to be olive oil, there's going to be garlic. So, I'm just kind of playing on what I have and making it something my own. So you'll see me just go ahead and cut this up, marinate it, and then I will pan fry it with some olive oil and season it with this Greek seasoning I have, and put them on these yummy little naan breads that I had. I didn't have any pitas, but those worked just as well. So I am cooking this on really high heat, and you saw I added some extra seasonings in there, some of my favorite Italian grinders and some black pepper. And at this point, I did drain off some of that juice because it was just a little too liquidy. Now I'm going to add in some of that Greek seasoning. It's really, really delicious. And the other half of that lemon, and I'm cooking this on really high heat because I want it to get like a nice little golden crust on it. And then you will see I'm going to pull the chicken out. I'm going to put it on a plate in the back, and then I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in the pan, and I'm just going to cook my naan breads on both sides. I'm going to save the little juices that are left in the pan as well, because that's just going to give it some good flavor. And I'm going to chop up a tomato because we're going to have tomato on it. And then I just put on some of this tzatziki sauce. It was a garlic mint tzatziki sauce that I found at the grocery store on clearance, and that's kind of want to put me in the mood for it. I'm also going to season my tomatoes. I can't stand unseasoned tomatoes, so just a little bit of my Italian grinders, maybe some salt. I can't remember. Yeah, a little bit of salt, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. And this is them when they were done. They were so good. Oh my gosh, I've been craving these again ever since I made them. I really, really liked them. So this night I did not really record myself cooking, and I just wanted to throw it in so you could see what we had. So this is just boneless, skinless chicken cutlets. I took some seasoned Italian breadcrumbs, and I took half a sleeve of the Ritz crackers. I seasoned it up. I just coated my chicken with it, fried it on both sides, and some olive oil. These are just those like Rana brand mushroom raviolis. I boiled those up. We had some pesto on top, and that was it. I didn't put any pesto on top of the chicken, just mixed it into the raviolis with some Parmesan cheese. But you can see this turned out really golden and beautiful. But yeah, that's everything for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. Bye!